Councilmember Patterson.
Here.
Councilmember Gruber. Councilmember Smith. Vice President Harris.
Here.
President Melendez.
Here.
As we have no presentations this month, we will get right to the business at hand. Introductory number 183, authorizing the sale of real estate, public hearing to be held on Thursday, June 12, 2025 at 6 p.m. Questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, I need a motion and a second.
Move it.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 83, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Introductory number 184, authorizing the sale of 45 Excel Drive and a portion of 25 Excel Drive. Public hearing to be held on Thursday, June 12, 2025 at 6 p.m. Questions, comments, or concerns?
One.
Go ahead, council member.
Yes, I'm thinking that we don't have a unit breakdown type yet because this is so new. This is 185?
184.
Oh, I'm sorry. No questions.
Okay. Seeing no questions, comments, or concerns, I need a motion and a second.
Move it.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 184, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Introductory passes. Introductory number 185, authorizing the sale of school number 25. We have a note here from law. The note from law is that there is a disclosure of interest form for President Melendez. He is required to recuse himself from deliberations and the vote. Questions, comments, or concerns on the sale of school number 25? Councilmember Smith.
Unit breakdown type, has that been established yet?
Commissioner Miller, can you take that?
Yes, absolutely. Actually, I'll let Deputy Commissioner answer.
Yes, in the transmittal, it identifies that the units will be available to tenants earning households earning between 30 and 60% AMI.
Right, but the unit types, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom.
We'll have to get back to you in writing on that.
Thank you.
All right. Any other council member? We'll just go down the line. Start with Councilmember Gruber.
Thanks. And actually, I should have asked this before on 184, but can you actually just give writing's fine if you'd rather, but what is the new 15,000 square foot distribution warehouse? What's the business relocating?
Sorry, sir. We're on 185.
I know. I recognize that.
Okay.
I'd like to, if you want to submit it in writing, that's fine. Unless you want to tell me what it is.
We'll do it in writing.
Okay.
Yeah,
As for 185, I just want to, do we have, what is the, maybe it's a question for law, and welcome back, Stephanie. Is there a clear standard process for what happens when the school district surrenders a building to us?
So I think we might have covered this question during budget hearings as well, so happy to provide an answer to that in writing, just as to kind of how that works.
Yeah, I mean, in budget hearings we talked about the particular dollar amounts of those two properties. I just want to know like what the statutory language is. If that could be sent over, that'd be great.
Yep, they're related, so be
Cool.
happy to do
Thank
that.
you.
Vice President.
Thank you. Will this site include any type of amenities, supportive services to the community for residents in the area, or just residents that's going to plan to live there? You can put this in writing if you'd like. And I have another one. What are the plans? Will there be parking, and where will parking be located for the residents of this building? And what are the ADA compliance standards for this building as well?
Okay, yes, we would be happy to provide you all of that as a written answer.
And then finally, will you be offering any 1 or 2 bedrooms, or will the developer be offering 1 and 2 bedrooms in this particular?
Yep, that'll be included.
Thank you.
Councilmember Lupien.
Vice President, did you ask about the traffic concerns? Okay, I'm going to ask that. What do we know the impact on traffic in that area?
I think we'll add that to the written response on
Thank
this
you.
to be comprehensive. Yep, thank you.
Yeah, and just a comment, that building's been empty for so long, and I'm so glad the community's been saying forever that they want to see something community focused going here, so I'm really glad that it's housing.
Council President.
Recuse myself.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Got to ask anyway. Councilmember Martin. All right. And on that point then, we've gone through all the questions, comments, or concerns. Need a motion and a second.
Move it.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 185, please say aye. Aye. All
Abstain.
opposed? And one abstention. All opposed? No opposed. Introductory passes. Introductory number 186, authorizing agreement for economic development services. Questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, need a motion and a second.
Move it.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 186, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Introductory number 187, authorizing a lease agreement for the Office of Public Integrity. Questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, need a motion and a second.
Move it.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 187, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Introductory number 188, authorizing a lease agreement for the Upstate Niagara Cooperative. Questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, need a motion and a second.
Move it.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 188, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Introductory number 189, appropriating and authorizing submittal of the Citizens Participation Plan amended 2025, 2025 through 2029 amended, the 2025 through 29 Consolidated Community Development Plan, and the 2025 through 2026 Annual Action Plans, and authorizing execution of grant agreements. Public hearing to be held on Thursday, June 12, 2025 at 6 p.m. Questions, comments, or concerns? We'll just go down the line. We'll start with Councilmember Smith.
Yeah, so there was a lot of goodness here to unpack. So I can put specific questions in writing, but I just had a few general questions. And the first general question is, are we building and creating processes that actually meet the needs of the specific problems? For example, it states that within the black population is experiencing severe housing problems, such as kitchen plumbing, overcrowding, cost burden. And from your perspective, are we building and creating processes that meet the needs of those severe challenges?
So we would be happy to provide you with more details, but in general, yes, we are. The processes that we've talked about in here that deal with home repair, emergency solutions, housing opportunities for persons with AIDS, are all focused on addressing those kinds of issues across populations.
Great. And so as you went through each program, you looked at like the inequities, the problems, and all right.
That's part of our
that's great.
action plan, yes.
So my second question is just pertaining to citizens' participation. So I noticed that the stakeholders had focus groups relevant to the different or specific areas of focus. But then in terms of the community, the broader community was just placed in one large group. And so my concern is that the community wasn't targeted based on geographic and demographical differences so that we can get the right persons who are directly impacted with housing insecurity at the table to discuss these issues. And so moving forward, as this rolls out, are there any plans to do more community engagement to inform the community of what is happening around housing and the city's approach to address it?
Yes, and Henry Fitz would address that for you.
Absolutely. We were fortunate to work with Highland Planning as part of to conduct a large-scale community outreach campaign to develop that informed the development of this plan, and we started with a public notice as well as a large postcard mailing. The postcard mailing went to 41,000 households that were targeted in our highest need census tracts, where over 75% of the residents are HUD eligible under that 80% AMI. So that was very much geographically targeted, especially with the postcard The other focus groups were focused on specific topics, that we know are related to our programs or current issues going on, in the community. So we hope those were kind of the more targeted things, and then the survey was a broad scale, open to the public, open online, that was also advertised in the postcard. So we kind of hit it from multiple angles, but with some special focus on target populations.
Thank you.
Just to that point, since I'm the only one who was here when it happened, the roofing program was the product of the process that Mr. Fitz just described. Ms. Wheeler was there, and so was, at the time, Vice President Miller, when we went through that process. And so this is a tried and true process that we've used before, and it has driven the expenditure of dollars in this community, specifically and particularly the roofing program came right out of that program. And then the focus of that roofing program on the adjustment of it, adjusting to seniors, came out of this process also. Going down the line, Councilmember Martin.
Yes, following up on Councilmember Smith's question, could you share a copy of the postcard that was sent, and also just in writing the specific census tract? Additionally, so these are federal funds, so have they, as we all are in this climate, have they been received and encumbered? Is there concern about not receiving these funds?
Okay, we would be happy to solve your first issue by sending you the postcard and the information. In terms of the funds, Henry can speak to that very quickly.
So these are what are called formula dollars, and they're allocated by Congress in the federal budget process. And as part of that bill that is approved by Congress, the administration is legally obligated to provide these funds to us as long as we follow through on the HUD process, which includes the development of this plan document and the public engagement that goes with it, that we submit it to HUD within the time, the time required, and then as long as we do those things, we get a grant agreement and that we execute, and then we'll have the funds.
Okay, so the funds are not yet deposited into the city's account, but it's likely it would based on following all the recommendations. Got it. Thank you so much. This is a great program, and I'm looking forward to the positive things that happen as a result.
Council President.
I'm all set. Thank you.
Councilmember Lupien.
The projects that are listed here, Affordable Housing Development Fund, Demolition Program, how did you arrive at the specific percentages for each?
I can help address that. So we have a budgeting process that we conduct, with cross-departmental involvement, and it's in, the priorities of the budgeting process are set by the community, in part by the community engagement, as well as the priorities of the administration and our goals for the upcoming year, known projects and various things like that. And we go through, it's over 30 projects that are allocated funds from the 4 different HUD grant streams, and we typically just take a look at what we have on hand in terms of old balances, what we project we'll need for the upcoming year, community needs, again, community input, and that determines how we prioritize what amounts of funds go to which programs.
Okay, could you provide, and maybe you did already, the priorities that you got from outreach?
We can do that.
Thank you.
Council Vice President.
I'm all set. Thank you.
Council.
No, I just wanted to thank NBD for the work session on this a couple weeks ago. It was very informative. No further questions.
Okay. At this point in time, seeing no other questions, comments, or concerns, I need a motion and a second.
Move it.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 189, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Introductory 190. appropriating 2025-26 annual action plans funds and authorize agreements for the Business Development Financial Assistance Program. Questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, need a motion and a second.
Move it.
Second.
Moved and seconded. And now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 191, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Yep. Introductory 191. Introductory number 192, appropriating 2025-26 annual action plan funds and authorizing agreements for street liaison services. Questions, comments, or concerns? Did I miss one?
Councilmember Patterson, we believe that 191 might have
We'll go-
been skipped.
That's no problem. Going back, introductory number 191, appropriating the 2025-2026 annual action plan funds and authorizing agreements for the Neighborhood Commercial Assistance Program. Questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none. need
Move
a
it.
Motion and second.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 191, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Introductory number 192, appropriating the 2025-2026 annual action plan funds and authorizing agreements for street liaison services. Questions, comments, or concerns?
Move it.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 192, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Introductory number 193, appropriating the 2025-2026 annual action plan funds and authorizing agreements for the demolition program. Questions, comments, or concerns?
Question?
Please, Council President.
Yes, so I just wanted to ask the question around whether or not we feel in this allocation will cover enough of the challenge with demolitions of properties. And I also noticed that we allocated money in the CIP, and I wanted to get a sense of if that's different money than this or it's the same source of funds.
Commissioner.
Thank you. So the question about whether or not this is sufficient is a challenging question. We have a regular schedule of a demolition program where we identify properties that are beyond repair, they're vacant, they're derelict, in many cases fire damaged, and are public safety hazards, so we demolish those on a regular schedule. Other properties, sometimes we end up demolishing due to some emergency, typically a fire. So it is not always enough money, but it is a very good start. The second question was about the CIP, and this money is not part of the CIP, it's separate funding.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
I'll move it.
Okay.
Second.
Second, moved and seconded. And now we vote on introductory number 193. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Introductory number 194, appropriating the 2025-2026 annual action plan funds and authorizing agreements for the Emergency Assistance Program. Questions, comments, or concerns? Council President.
Yes, I actually want to lay before the council an amendment to this item. So, you know, one of the things that we consistently hear is a challenge around emergency assistance programs. And I know that the city does what we can all the time to bring the resources to households that have things like furnaces going out, et cetera. So I'm going to pass this around so that everyone has a copy, and I'll read what the amendment is, the proposed amendment. I think I got enough. And essentially, what I'd like to do is use existing dollars from the council PSA line and move those dollars to cash capital for the purposes of providing additional funding for programs for this intended purpose. And so the amendment that's before you is going to add Section 2, Ordinance number 2024-200. The 2024-25 budget of the City of Rochester as amended is hereby further amended by transferring $200,000 from the budget of the City Council and clerk to cash capital to provide additional funding for the programs mentioned in Section 1, and then it strikes Section 2 and changes it to Section 3. So the reason for cash capital and the beauty of cash capital is that by council putting money from our PSA line into cash capital, the money and the resources can be used over multiple years. It's not just tied to one specific budget year. And given what's going on in other places, we'll say in government, I think it's important to have resources laid as a foundation in this specific line item. So that is why I'm proposing this amendment.
Questions, comments, or concerns on the proposed amendment? No questions?
Yes.
No? I didn't see your hand. Please, Councilmember Martin.
Yeah, I think this is a really great use of council underruns. After this is applied, how much would be left in the council underruns? Budget / president.
Yes. If budget has the answer, or Deputy Chief of Staff can answer.
I'll have to get back to you in writing.
Sounds good.
Sorry.
Thank you. No worries.
All right, so.
So I propose an amendment. I don't have a second yet.
Somebody propose it, so does.
Second.
Well, hang on, let's just see, is all the debate on this, everybody spoken their piece on the amendment as offered? No other comment? Okay, so we need a motion and a second on the amendment.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote on the amendment. All in favor of the amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed to the amendment, please say nay. The amendment passes. Now we vote on the item as amended. All in favor of introducing 194 as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed to 194 as amended, please say nay. The item passes as amended. Introductory. So let me tell you why why the commissioners clapping.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Because you wonder why you do these committee review questions, and one of the things we did at committee review yesterday is that we're going through the legislation, and I asked, well, this is a great program. It's owner occupants, and dead of winter, your furnace goes out, your hot water heater comes out, and we have a process where we can help you, and we don't just go in and fix your crappy old furnace. We put in a brand new furnace. And so I asked, is this program oversubscribed? Do we have do we have a greater need for this program than we have dollars to support it? And one of the staff in NBD spoke up right away and said, yeah, it's way oversubscribed. We got a waiting list for this thing. And the notion that we would have people waiting in the winter to get their furnace done is just horrible. So I'm happy to see that we took no time to act and make this adjustment. And to the council president's points, these dollars are just there. So as you need them, you use them, and when they're gone, who knows? But for now, come this next winter, there'll be an awful lot of folks who would have thought they would have just had to have suffered through the winter, and they won't. All right, so moving on to introductory number 195, appropriating 2025-2026 annual action plan funds and authorizing agreements for the lead hazard control program. Questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, I need a motion and a second.
Move it.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 195, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Introductory number 196, appropriating the 2025-2026 annual action plan funds and authorizing agreements for the owner-occupied rehabilitation program. Questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, need a motion and a second.
Move it.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 196, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Introductory number 197, appropriating 2025-2026 annual action plan funds and authorizing agreements for foreclosure prevention services. Questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, need a motion and a second.
Move it.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 197, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Introductory number 198, appropriating 2025-2026 annual action plan funds and authorizing agreements for the Home Rochester Program Management and the Community Housing Development Organization Reserve programs. Questions, comments, or concerns? Council President.
Yes, thank you. I know that one of the big issues right now in our community is lack of inventory on units. So have we been, and this is more probably, it can be in writing as well, but have we been meeting our demand for the number of units that enter into these CHOTO-based programs? And if not, do we anticipate any challenges with doing the 7 or 8 properties that we anticipate doing in the future?
I'm happy for the commissioner to answer briefly, or we can put it in writing.
Yes, we would be happy to provide you an answer in writing for that question, but thank you for asking.
Seeing no other questions, comments, or concerns, I need a motion and a second.
Move it.
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 198, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Introductory number 199, appropriating the 2025-2026 annual action plan funds and authorizing an agreement for the tenant landlord services. For tenant landlord services. Questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, need a motion and a second.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 199, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Introductory number 200, appropriating 2025-2026 annual action plan funds and authorizing agreement for the Aging in Place project. Questions, comments, or concerns? Council member, yes.
Councilmember Patterson, I'd like to propose an amendment. 2 years ago, this budget line was 80,000 because of some extra dollars, extra ARPA dollars hanging, or maybe they're CARES Act dollars hanging around. And last year it went down to 60, and this council bumped it back up to 80 because we heard there was a demand. In the work session a couple weeks ago with NBD, we talked about doing it again. So I have a formal amendment that just bumps the 60,000 up to 80,000, and hoping we can get support to do that.
Thank you, Councilmember Gruber.
And these just to remind everyone, these are like the small additions in people's home, not additions, these are the things like grab bars and other things to help people age in place at their house safely. And according to Lifespan, who's the subcontractor, the bump from 60,000 to 80,000 really takes care of what the need seems to be every year. Or at least the need that they can manage every year.
So, any debate or comment on the proposed amendment? Any other comments or concerns on the proposed amendment? None?
It's been moved, so I'll second it.
So we've moved and seconded on the amendment, and so now we'll vote on the amendment. All in favor of the amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed to the amendment, please say nay. The amendment passes. Now we vote on the item as amended. Need a motion and a second.
May I just make one more comment?
Sure.
I would just encourage the administration to find, hopefully we have these dollars to continue to allocate in future years, and I would just encourage the administration to find a way to get this dollar amount back up to 80. I know it's a finite pie, and moving things is not an easy thing to do, but I think there's an appetite to get this number to around 80. Thanks.
All right. So we got a motion and a second.
Move
Now
it.
We got a motion and we got a second. Now we need to vote on the item as amended. All in favor of introductory number 200 as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. No, introductory passes as amended. Introductory number 201, appropriating 2025 annual action plan funds and authorizing an agreement for senior legal services. Questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, I need a motion and a second.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 201, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Introductory number 202, appropriating 2025-2026 annual action plan funds and authorizing agreements for the Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS program. Questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, I need a motion and a second.
Move it.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 202, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Introductory number 203, authorizing substantial amendments to the 2017-18 and 2018-19 annual action plans and appropriating funds for home buyer assistance. Public hearing to be held on Thursday, June 12, 2025 at 6 p.m. Questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, I need a motion and a second.
Move it.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 203, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Introductory number 204, authorizing the 2025-2026 City Development Fund Program appropriations. Questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, I need a motion and a second.
Move it.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 204, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. Introductory number 205, appropriating 2025-2026 Annual Action Plan funds and authorizing agreements for the Emergency Solutions Grant Program. Questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, I need a motion and a second.
Move it.
Move it. Second.
Moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number 205, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. With that last item before us, this committee stands adjourned. At this time, I call the Rural Resolution Review Committee to order, and I ask the clerk to call the roll.
Agent Patterson.
Here.
Agent Gruber.
Here.
Agent Smith. Agent Vice President Harris.
Here.
Agent President Melendez.
Here.
All right, we have one item before us. That is introductory number URA 6, resolution designating Abid Realty LLC as qualified and eligible to purchase 45 Excel Drive and a portion of 25 Excel Drive to conduct a urban renewal project. A public hearing to be held on Thursday, June 12, 2025 at 6 p.m. Any questions, comments? Councilmember Gruber.
Thanks. Got it. So I looked it up. It's Wild Bill's Wholesale. What's happening to the building on Oak Street?
The building at Oak Street is his current location. He is planning to sell that building.
So the buyer of these properties owns Oak Street,
Correct.
and the assumption is that they're going to
Relocate his business from Oak Street to this.
and putting it on the market.
Correct. After the new building is constructed.
Got it. So and it's a new build, and is the city participating in the funding of the new build at all? It's just selling property.
Just selling the property.
Got it. And is the stated reason for the relocation is that a growing business?
Yes.
They've been
Needs more space.
They've been a good neighbor.
They have been, and they provide supplies to many of the other smaller stores in the city. So it's a warehouse type business.
Is there any potential linkages between this program and the Healthy Grocer program? Obviously, to your point, so many of the groceries, the small corner stores in town, are getting their product from this place. Has there been any conversation now that they're kind of asking us to participate in their growth?
I don't know that we've contacted them directly. Our Healthy Raw Grocer outreach has been primarily to the individual retailers, but there's certainly no reason we couldn't talk to him.
Yeah, I think given that there's a negotiation happening with them right now, that is kind of the root and the source of a lot of the food that flows in and out of many of the corner stores and bodegas in our city. So it'd be great to have a conversation about how they can at least help to promote and steer towards folks towards the Healthy Grocer program. Thanks.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, I need a motion in a second.
So moved.
All right, moved and seconded, and now we vote. All in favor of introductory number URA 6, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Introductory passes. The Rural Resolution Review Committee now stands adjourned.
I'm going to get started. At this time, I will call the People, Parks, and Public Works Committee to order, and I ask the Deputy Clerk to call the roll.
Vice President Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Lightfoot. Councilmember Lupian.
Here.
Councilmember Patterson. President Melendez.
Here.
There are no presentations this month, therefore we will now proceed to move on the business of the committee.
Vice President Harris, as a point of privilege, can I have the floor for a moment?
Yes.
Yes. I just want to acknowledge the tragedy that happened in our city. I know all of council, all the council members that are here. I have a 6-year-old son who's very curious and who climbs things and does things all the time. And what happened not too far from City Hall here certainly has impacted me. I visited the bridge this morning and couldn't help but get emotional about the situation. So to the administration and in writing and not for discussion now, I would like for council to get an understanding of, and I'll put some questions in writing in more detail, but just in terms of that specific bridge, the Andrew Street Bridge, the railings, the measurements of the railings, by all accounts, from everything I've heard, it seems like we have the right heights and all that based on code. But I do have concerns about that there is a kind of like a step or a landing in between, and I'd like to get a sense of what more we could be doing potentially to look at the bridge and the infrastructure there to prevent anything like this from happening ever again. Thank you. And I'll put questions in writing. Thank you.
Any additional? Okay. Now we will move on to the business of the committee. Introductory number 206, authorizing term agreements for architectural professional services. Any questions, comments, or concerns? I need a motion in a second. We'll start over to the left. Councilmember Patterson.
So we have a series of term agreements here, and just the general question for all of them is going to be, and this question goes through all of them. I'm happy to get these answers in writing. Are there any new vendors? That's the first one. If there are new vendors, I believe that we have aggregate award amounts for minorities and women. Please share with us the results of the continuing vendors in this process. You know, by this point in time, if you were here last year and we gave you an award and you got some money, you should be able to tell us if we're meeting goals for women and minorities with these agreements. So those are the two questions we have, not just for this one, but I think we've got like 4 or 5 of these coming up. Same question for all of them.
Noted. Thank you, Councilmember.
Yeah.
Councilmember Martin.
Yeah, my question also applies to all the term agreements. Have you contemplated how much each of them would cost and what specific projects they'd be working on? There's a bit of vagueness, so I'm a bit curious about cost and also what specific projects each of these organizations will be working on.
Thanks for that. We'll combine response to that with Councilmember Patterson's.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Councilmember Lupian.
I just wanted to acknowledge that it looked like Heidi was going to say something.
We'll respond in writing. I mean, there's no cost to them because we'll come back to council when there's actual project. But we'll give you full detail in that summary.
Need a motion in a second?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. Introductory number 207, authorizing term agreements for civil engineering professional services. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
Move it.
Second, need a second?
Need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 208, authorizing term agreements for landscape, architectural, and planning professional services. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 209, authorizing term agreements for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing engineering professional services. Questions, comments, or concerns?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Introductory number 210, authorizing term agreements for space planning and move management professional services. Questions, comments, or concerns?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Introductory number 211, authorizing term agreements for structural engineering professional services. Questions, comments, or concerns?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 212, amending the 2024-25 budget related to the receipt and use of funds from Rochester Gas Electric Corporation related to the South Avenue and Elmwood Avenue reconstruction project. Questions, comments, or concerns?
Question.
Councilmember Patterson.
Thank you. So my question is not about this particular project, but it is about the RG&E is planning on digging up North Goodman Street. You know, that street we just finished fixing, repairing, milling and resurfacing. They have a plan to go from Irondequoit coming into the city and busting up all of that nice new work that we did. What is the plan to ensure that RG&E will not do the standard garbage job of repairing our street, but will actually repair it and put it back better? And I'd love that answer in writing.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I need a motion and a second.
Can I,
President Melendez.
I'm puzzled that RG&E would come in after the fact and do this, and I wonder from the administration, and this could also be in writing as part of council members' request, if we can get a sense of other projects, and if there's any, well, two things. One is, how long have we known that RG&E is going to do that on Goodman Street? And could we have prevented them from busting up the road in terms of timing? That's a question. And then the other is any other projects that we're aware of in the city that's coming up that we should be mindful of when we do milling and resurfacing projects. So when it comes before council, we have full consideration of that.
Well, we really appreciate the complexity here, and it is a challenge for us, not only for RG&E, but for other utilities. Ideally, what we do is during design, and even prior to design, when we know funding is coming, we reach out to all utilities, including RG&E, and say, we're doing this big project 3 years down the line. Please come in and do all of your work ahead of time. And unfortunately, we've had mixed results on that. But I will say that when they do come in after the fact, that we set very strict parameters around their right-of-way permitting. And we also require them on large things like North Goodman to actually provide RPR services on their own to assure that what they're doing meets our standards for the right-of-way. And then we have folks on our end that make sure they comply with that.
Well, wait a minute. So RPR services are supposed to be, that's supposed to be our service. Our job, the RPR service, is to make sure that you actually do what the spec is and that it comes back the way it's supposed to go. You know, the challenge with road construction is that all you ever see is the top coat. And so you don't know what the trash is underneath. And so there's all the issues that go with compaction, making sure that, well, I don't have to tell you, you know all that stuff. But I would feel much better if I were hearing that we were paying them, that we were contracting for the RPR services and then back billing them for it to ensure that we were actually getting what we need in this rebuild. Because, you know, I drive all over the city, all the time, and I see numerous instances where we have just finished resurfacing a road, reconstructing it, and some person will come through and pull a great big chunk out of our newly refurbished road surface and then throw a humpy patch on top of it, or a subsiding patch on top of it, which is yay joy, and then a crappy little sealer around it, and it's just gonna be a mess. So I'm, you know, as a guy who drives all day long, I kind of take our roads seriously. And so do a lot of my constituents, because, you know, depending on the kind of money you got, a pothole can take out your car, can take out your tires, and can shut down your livelihood. So when we do this work that we've been doing now for over 12 years of making sure that we don't have rotten, rutted, raggedy roads, it means something. And we've got to hold these jokers accountable and responsible. If you cut into our road, you will make it perfect. And that ain't what I'm seeing. So what's the plan? And since there is legislation that this body passed in the past saying that that's exactly what's supposed to happen, I want to know why it ain't happening. And I'll take that answer in writing too.
Yeah, to your point, Councilman Patterson, I asked that question in committee. We definitely brought that up during the committee, had a lengthy discussion about that. So I definitely would like to see that in writing. And Councilmember Lupien.
Yes, I also just want to acknowledge that your name is Holly. Sorry about that. Do we have any kind of fee related to them digging into the road or not responding during the time period and then coming in after? And if not, could we?
We do. Yes, we have a variety of ways to try to hold people accountable for the work in the right of way after the fact.
Is it easy to provide the fee schedule?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes.
And actually, can you add to that if there is a trigger and when you impose the fee or when you don't?
Sure, we'll supply.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. Any additional comments on this? Okay, I need a motion a second.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 213, authorizing an agreement for 2027 residential chip seal and milling and servicing project. And questions, comments, or concerns?
Question.
Councilmember Patterson.
So this is a regular ongoing activity. If we are using the same vendors, I would just like a report on the utilization for minorities and women over the last 5 years. We do this regularly. I believe that we pretty much have the same vendors. You should be able to give us a report on how they're doing with the utilization.
Any additional comments? Need a motion a second.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 214, authorizing an intermunicipal agreement with Monroe County for park signs. Any questions, comments, concerns? Need a motion a second. Councilmember Gruber?
Deputy Mayor, I know that parking is not here, so I'm going to direct this question to you. So we're getting new parking signs. Are these like this? Do you know? Are these the signs that like are alternate street parking, or are these signs that like parking garages type of things?
I'll confirm which signs are specifically covered by this.
Okay.
And provide.
If it's the, I'm just wondering if there's conversation at all about if it is the alternate side of the street. I constantly hear constituents, and in particular new people who are newly moving to Rochester, say they are confused by the amount of negatives on the signs. Don't park on these days versus do park on these days. And I'm wondering if we're spending all this money on getting new signs, if it might be time to revisit that.
Duly noted.
Just a conversation I'd love to have at some point.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Any additional comments? Need a motion a second?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 215, authorizing an agreement for elimination of high falls. Any questions, comments, concerns? I need a motion a second.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 216, authorizing an agreement relating to the street lighting facilities within Chili Ave over Erie Canal Bridge project. Comments, questions, or concerns? Motion and second.
Second.
Open voice. Did we get-
Move it. Yeah.
Oh,
move
okay.
it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 217, a resolution granting the State of New York authority to perform the adjustment for the owner and agreeing to maintain facilities adjusted via state-let contract for street lighting facilities on Chili Ave over Erie Canal Bridge project. Questions, comments, concerns? Need a motion second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 218, authorizing agreement relating to water facilities within Chili Ave over Erie Canal Bridge project.
Move it.
Questions, comments, concerns?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 219, a resolution granting the State of New York authority to perform the adjustment for the owner and agreeing to maintaining facilities adjusted via state-led contract for water facilities on Chili Ave over Erie Canal Bridge project. Questions, comments, concerns?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 220, a bond ordinance of the City of Rochester, New York, authorizing the issuance of 160,000 bonds of said city to finance the cost of site characterization, environmental contamination present at 52 and 96 Falls Street in the city. Questions, comments, concerns? Need a motion and second.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 221, authorizing the agreement for the site characterization services. Questions, comments, concerns? Need a
Move it.
motion and second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Bless you. Introductory number 222, authorizing an agreement for the cost and fee analysis of the public right-of-way project. Can I get Councilmember Martin.
What is the timeline for completion of the study?
Commissioner.
Go ahead, Louis.
The proposal that was the winning proposal states that it should be done in 4 months, but I think that is aggressive, and a realistic expectation is 8 to 12 months.
That's helpful. And once it's completed, can council receive a copy of the study?
Yes, absolutely.
Great, thank you.
Okay, any additional comments or concerns? I need a motion and second.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 222, authorizing an agreement for cost and fee analysis of the public right-of-way project. Comments or concerns? Need a motion and second.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 223, authorizing agreements related to the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Comments or concerns? Need a motion and second.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 224, authorizing a mandatory agreement for the Humane Society of Rochester and Monroe County. Questions, comments, and concerns? Councilmember Martin.
Yeah, I appreciate the creativity and effort that's being made to ensure the animals receive these services. What happens to these agreements if a veterinarian is found?
We would keep the agreements. We've had the agreements even when we had a veterinarian on staff.
That's helpful, thank you.
Need a motion and second?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 224, authorizing the mandatory agreement. Oh, never mind.
225.
I already did that one. Introductory number 225, authorizing appropriating 2025-26 annual action plan funds and authorizing an agreement for the International Plaza. A disclosure: President Melendez is employed by Ibero-American Action League. He must recuse himself from deliberations and vote. And because of that reason, we'll need to hold this item for that reason, so we'll hold it. Any questions in the meantime, comments or concerns? Yeah. Okay.
Just a comment. Over the years, just looking at the programming happening at the International Plaza, we've seen it grow. There, just this weekend, there was something about Pride there. So I'm really excited to see this funding happen, and just great job with getting people to International Plaza.
Thank you, Councilman Martin. Introductory number 226, authorizing funding and agreements for the 2025 Summer Food Service Program. Disclosure: Councilmember Lupien and myself are employed by the Rochester City School District. We are required to disclose only and can participate in deliberations and votes. Questions, comments, or concerns? I need a motion in a second. Councilmember Patterson.
Okay, so summer food program comes up every year. Does everybody already know what I'm going to ask about? Okay, we all know what I'm going to say. I don't even need. So what are we going to do to make sure that we get a baby something they're going to eat?
So I have to say, Councilmember Patterson, that I come from the Rochester City School District, and there's always been concern about the food. But over the last few years, I have not heard that concern. So I think we are getting better at the quality of food, and children are eating.
Yeah, well, wait. Commissioner,
Yes.
are they eating more of the food than they're throwing away? Because from what I understand, they still throw away more of the food than they eat.
They're eating more food than they're throwing away these days.
Well, in that case, you can give me the report from last summer showing me that, right?
I can't. So I can tell you this, that on my visits to rec centers last summer, I ate the food as well.
That wasn't a question.
I can't tell
I'm
you.
trying to
kept
feed the
track.
hey
Food was
man,
thrown away,
if I
but
hand you
thank
something and you ain't, if we give them something and they ain't gonna eat it, we didn't feed them.
Okay.
I mean,
Point well taken.
So I mean, I hear what you're saying, but y'all do a census every day of all the food that comes in and what they eat and what they throw away, right? So since y'all got that data, you can give me that data for last year and the year before that, because it'll bear out what you just told me, right?
Yes, we'll look at that.
Yeah, we'll provide that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So we'll get that. Any additional questions?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 227, authorizing the agreement with the Center for Dispute Settlement, Inc. Questions, comments, or concerns?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 228, authorizing intermunicipal agreement for Pathways to Peace school-based programming. Disclosure, Councilmember Lupien and myself are employed by the Rochester City School District. We must recuse from deliberations and vote.
Question.
Councilmember President Melendez.
Yes, so year over year, these services are consistently requested by our CSD of Pathways to Peace. Appreciate that we have this partnership and relationship, but I do wonder how this contract and our coverage compares to prior years, if that could be provided in writing.
We can get that for you.
Thank you.
And I believe I would have to hold this one too, right? We would have to use
No, you can, all right, do you have to?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can vote. You can vote on this
okay.
one. So I'll move it.
Who's second it?
Second. Oh, wait, you got to recuse, right?
Yeah, it says I got to recuse myself.
Oh, sorry. So yes, we have to hold this item.
Yeah, we'll have to hold this.
Okay.
So, we'll hold this item and we'll go on to the next one.
Well,
Introductory number 229, authorizing an agreement for summer family literacy programs. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Just President Melendez, do you want to comment on that? Okay, Councilmember Martin?
Yeah, this is really exciting, following the work of Ms. Florence and the impact in the community. I'm excited to see this investment in addition to the others that you made Vice President in reading and literacy, so full support. This is great.
Thank you. I was going back to President Melendez.
Yeah, sorry, I was still stuck on 228 in my head. But yes, this is an opportunity to fill a void in our community. Last month we passed something for the Northeast and the Southwest. This is in the Northwest District where the programming will be occurring. Also, this is a initiative that did not receive some summer funding that was anticipated, so this is a way that council can help fill the gap.
Thank you, President Melendez. And I'd just like to add to my colleagues, President Melendez and Councilman Martin, that, I'm glad that we all of us agree on something. So I'm making note of that. And that's progress, right? So I'll need a motion in a second.
I'll move it.
Up second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Introductory number 230, authorizing agreement relating to the Recovery House and Crisis Stabilization Services. Questions, comments, or concerns?
Move it.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. So with that being said, with no further business, the People, Parks, and Public Works Committee stands adjourned.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to have a conversation.
Okay.
Sort of game plan for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What's that? I told him, check my daughter's pen and tell me how much is in there.
Can you give that to Angelica?
Sarah?
I appreciate it.
Scott, I got something to ask you. Sure. One side. Yeah, no problem.
Does he get a copy of all the responses? Does he review all the copies of all the
I want to make something. I just want to make sure he sees it, but I just want to put stock to it for it. All right.
Is it that we want to take that first? Oh, I didn't bring it. I must have left it on my desk. I don't have it. I'll see you tomorrow. I don't have it.